passing like so fast that we are going to come to an year end of 2021. But for me, this October reminds me of last year when someone spoke to me about terahertz water. He bumped into me, brought in the instrument, showed me the device, and said this is something nice. And then talked about the qualities of water. And then I said, okay. But the one thing what this gentleman did was, I didn't ask him I want the product. But what he did was very gracefully, he gave me the terahertz unit and he said, Doctor, you use it. That's all. He never asked for the money and he never told anything else, just gave me the product. Now that was the real situation which made me to do a lot of research, and now it's almost 1 year I'm into it. There's a lot of beautiful things. Now coming back to the contribution, what we need to do, what I am doing down here is basically we are sharing this information. So what I wish to let you know is, when I'm speaking about the heart care and support, it's a general information I'm sharing, so that you all should understand that it's basically a universal information what I'm sharing. As when you're looking at people, of course, maybe thinking that cardiologists, super specialists are out there, but when you look at the human body as such, holistically, when we look at, it's a very simple instrument. This whole body is a very beautiful, simple instrument. You need to know what you need to do. So in that way, even though the subject is going to be a tough time for me to make things happen, but as I was preparing, there's a lot of things flowed in me, and then I picked up today's very, very beautiful information. And from there, I think it will be another 2 weeks I will be speaking about the heart care and support, because just this one day is not going to be sufficient, because today's topic itself is a very deep subject, and I'm honored to share this with you. And let me go to the next slide. All right, I'm not going to go back into this. All right, heart is one of the most important organ in our body. That's everybody knows that. The day your heart stops, that's the day you breathe the last. But there is something beautiful in our medical fraternity. What we can do is, if the heart has stopped pumping, we do have mechanisms to restart the heart, and that's how we rejuvenate the patient back. And then once the heart starts beating back, of course the life goes on. But just imagine if your brain is dead, 5 minutes more, if oxygen is not given and there is no blood supply, then you become a vegetable. This is what happens in many times. Of course we revive you from dying, but you will become like a vegetable. Now that's the importance of this heart, that you need to know. You have to take care of it right from your younger age group. Not that when you're 50 years old and then you wake up when the doctors tell you have a block, and that is when you start looking into restricting your life, so reducing your smoking, reducing your fatty foods, jogging, going for exercise. All this happens once the doctors tells you what to do. But why do you want to go into that state? You can as well look into how do you take care of yourself by doing few things which you can, it's within your reach. You can work on it and then start becoming more healthier. Now when I'm saying that, just a little bit of information, we go down to your the beginning of your heart. Now we all should know that by 5 to 6 weeks of pregnancy, when the baby is being just formed and it is just 5 to 6 weeks, there is a small heartbeat you can see. Especially such of those who have gone along with your wives to see the scanning, where the doctors would have done the scanning, they will show you the heartbeat, because that means the child is alive. But if there is no heartbeat, that means the baby is not alive. So of course they will recommend you to clear it up. Now when the starting of that at 5 to 6 weeks of pregnancy, now when does it stop? It stops only when you die. That means the final day it just stops. That's the end of your journey on this human platform. Now when you're looking at the journey, the heart is one beautiful organ. without telling you anything, without telling you that it is having a problem with itself, it will go on doing its job. Even when there is a, reduced blood supply, and then it goes into a state where the tissues die, even then the remaining part of your heart is still beating and trying to push the blood. So when that is a sacrifice your heart is doing for you, what do you need to do? You need to do few things. What are the few things? Now before we go to the few things, just this is for the information I'm sharing here. Your heart beats per day how many times? 100,800 times it beats per day. Now how many liters of blood is it pumping? 7,200 liters of blood it is pumping out per day. Now just imagine you're going to live for 60 years. How many liters is it pumping? 1,057,680,000 liters of blood your heart is pumping, and it is working. Have you ever thought of it? Your heart never asks for any commission from you, does not ask for any extra benefit from you, does not ask rest from you. It doesn't talk to you at all. It does its job. Now when we have such a beautiful organ in our body which the divine created for us to work from 6 weeks until we die, what is that the least you and I can do is take care of it. You have to take care of it. Now how are you going to take care of it? You have to stop doing things which can put pressure on your heart. You have to do that. Now when you just go down and see in 1 year how many times does it beat, and if you are living 60 years on this planet Earth, how many times your heart is beating? 2,207,520,000 times in your 60 years of life. This is only an average I am giving. Now imagine this is too much actually. Even if you buy a motor, electric motor, it would last for 5 years or 6 years or 10 years, maximum 15 years. After that it will. But here, can you believe how this beautiful organ is continuously working? And this I am talking for all the 7.5 billion population on this planet Earth, irrespective of the race, irrespective of your religion. It does its job. Whether you pray, you don't pray, whether you do this, you work, you earn money, whether it's COVID, it does its work. Now such is the responsibility of this beautiful organ called the heart. Now what do you need to do when it is working so marathon? What is that you need to do? You need to have proper nutrition, you need to have a regular exercise, you need to have regular rest. What I mean by rest is basically your body needs to have a proper rest. That means you need to sleep. When you're supposed to sleep, probably between midnight 12 o'clock to early morning 6 o'clock, you better rest. Or maybe from 10 o'clock night to early morning 5 o'clock, you need to rest, because that's the only time it beats little slowly and then it rests. It's actually not resting, but that's the time it is doing its job of exchange of unwanted materials, detoxification. All these will start happening when you're resting. Now there is something very important I am looking at here is you need to have appropriate blood viscosity. You would have seen that when your blood flow, especially which I think Eddie would have showed, many of you would have seen this with the live blood test, where the blood flow is very slow and sluggish, right? Now the moment you drink terahertz water, what happens? The viscosity is diluted. That means it's high viscosity. It is something like you're talking about synthetic engine oil and the normal engine oil. Synthetic engine oil is much more smoother because the viscosity is much higher. In the same way, if you're taking water, the terahertz water is minus 680 viscosity. That means it's very slimy and slippery. So when you're drinking this water, what can happen? Definitely it will add an advantage to make your blood much more viscous. So why I'm talking this specifically the viscosity is, most of the human beings, because of our eating habits, your blood becomes thicker, and as you're getting older, your blood will be very thick. So that means your blood flow to the organs will be restricted. Now If that is the case, normally what will happen when we go to a doctor, and then probably you have a little bit of blood pressure, or maybe you just go to a doctor with a little bit of chest pain, and doctor finds that there is nothing, there is no block there. So what the doctor will do is he will put you on something called aspirin, a tablet which will actually make your blood thin. Now why do we do that is basically we are trying to help your body by making it much more thinner, so that your blood flow will be more easier. Now if you are not going to drink sufficient amount of water, definitely the viscosity will be more thicker, right? Now when your blood is thick, definitely the flow is hampered. When the flow is hampered, definitely the oxygen is hampered. If the oxygen is hampered, not only the oxygen can get hampered, the nutrition supply can get hampered. If the nutrition gets supplied to the cellular level is hampered, what will happen? Once again, the removal of the waste products from the cell also will be a problem. Now other than that, this is something very, very important, wherein you need to understand that the vessel wall flexibility is very, very important. Number one, for your maintenance of your blood pressure. Number two, for your vessel wall to be strong and flexible, the blood flow to be easy to go to the peripheries, that means to go to the end organs, it needs to be flexible. Just imagine if your vessel walls are all thick and then stiff, what will happen? It can be because of your cholesterol, it can be because of your atherosclerosis. When the plaques are formed inside the vessel, it becomes stiff. When it is stiff, automatically your blood pressure increases. Now once you get your blood pressure increases, what happens? We have to put you on some blood pressure medication so that we make it a little lower. Why we feel is, when your pressure is high, your heart has to pump a little more blood with difficulty. It is like stress on your heart. When there is a stress on your heart, automatically the chances are there you can have some heart issues, like maybe you can get a heart attack. Maybe there are issues which can compromise your blood flow to your heart. All this can happen. So that is where flexibility of the vessel wall is very, very important. Now finally, there is something very beautiful which I am very, very particular on. This particular subject is a proper microcirculation. This is the subject today I am going to talk. The remaining 5 I am going to talk in the next 2 weeks, but today's topic will be you need to have proper microcirculation. So when we are looking at proper microcirculation, what exactly is micro? Is basically you need to use a microscope to see the circulation. That is what is a simple principle behind this microcirculation. Now can you believe that this particular microcirculation we are talking about, there is a microscope for this. Now do you know which country was the first country to bring down this? It's China. They are the first one to bring this instrument. I still remember it was in 2006. There was a particular company which was dealing with a product which they had procured, and they were proving that your microcirculation will be improved when you take that particular product. Now for the first time in a medical fraternity, I am going there and I am seeing they are talking about microcirculation, and they are all non-doctors. They are talking about microcirculation. I said, this is something very beautiful, very nice, let me see. And when I am seeing, they just put my finger under the microscope and they were showing me live microcirculation of my vessels there. Now that was quite impressive. And then what happened? There was one professor from China. She came down here to Malaysia and she trained few people, and I was one of the doctors who got trained on this microcirculation. Now this is something very, very beautiful. I was really enthralled by understanding that if every doctor can have this machine and start doing a microcirculation check for the patient, what will happen is everybody will understand that there is some problem in the initial stages. At least before you get a heart attack or before you get some vascular issues, you should be able to see the problem in the microscope well in advance. Now this is what is all important about the microcirculation, which you need a microscope and there is a particular instrument for you to see. So what exactly is this microcirculation? Just for a definition purposes and for you to understand, it is the end organ circulation. That means the end, there is an organ, we are talking about the cells, and there is the exchange of gases, nutrients, clearance of waste. All this will take place at this microcirculation area. Now isn't it important for us? Isn't it important? We are talking about cellular hydration. So if your cellular hydration is a necessity, then automatically your microcirculation also need to be good enough so that you are whatever we are talking about hydration at the cellular level will also take place. Yes or no? Yes. So in that way microcirculation plays such an important situation, and what you see in this, it's a complete circulatory system. From the heart you see there are two blood vessels going up and two blood vessels coming down, and then what happens, the pure blood goes down on one side and the impure blood goes down back to the heart to get purified. Now this is one circle or one cycle you can call. Now if you are looking at the heart is the first heart, that is very, very important for us. Now there is something called the second heart. Now what is the second heart is nothing but your microcirculation. Now this is something which I learned not in my medical fraternity, but through this professor from China who trained me in the microcirculation. And can you believe there is one university in China where they have done a lot of research on this particular subject, microcirculation. And the microscope, when you put the word microscope, nail bed microscopy, it will take you to China. It's an automatic phenomena, and only from there you will be able to import this machine, and then for you to visualize your nail bed circulation, it's from China. It's not from any other country. So China has been there in this particular field of microcirculation very, very long time, and they have been doing a fantastic job because they do have products which they were speaking about microcirculation. Now in reality, if you look at in our medical fraternity, we do not go into such a detail of getting into the microcirculation, but we do look at the bigger vessels. Like if you go for an angiogram, of course we do see the bigger vessel, and whatever within our eyes what we see the vessels there, we will tell you these are all blocked. But micro is something you need to see under the microscope, and can you believe, you know what is a magnification you need to have in the microscope? It is 400 times. It is 400 times bigger picture. So that means that is when you will be able to see the circulation, whether it is going correctly or not. I'm going to show you the live demo here on the video. I'll be showing you. Now one of the major blood vessels, what you all need to, just for information, we do have the aorta, then the carotids, the pulmonary, the hepatic, the renal, then we have the brachial, radial. All these are all medical terminologies, don't bother. These are all major blood vessels of our body. Now when you look at the microcirculation, we have the arteries. Artery will become into a smaller vessel which is called arteriole, and from there it becomes a capillary. Now capillary, once again there is an input and an output. Now output, once again it gets into a venule, and then it becomes a vein. Now can you imagine, this is the smallest part of a vessel wherein there are a lot of things happening which many of us don't understand. Now as a doctor, I got myself trained knowing what exactly is happening at your circulation in the nail bed. This is where we are able to pick up and let you know that even whether you are having blood pressure, whether you are having a diabetes, there's a lot of things we can pick from this microcirculation. Now can you see here, the first heart is on the top there, the second heart is your microcirculation. So now you need to really take care of your second heart, because the first heart is a huge one. We have all the cardiologists, super specialists, you know, they can come and help you when you have issues with your leaflets inside, with the bigger vessels, and all those things they can do. But when it comes up to microcirculation, we don't really look into it, but definitely we all need to look into it. I think the future, every hospital will have this machine, and then we would be probably looking into this to help the patient to pick the diagnosis and make them more healthier. Now how many capillaries are there? You will be wondering how big is your your capillaries, you know, your microcirculation, how big is it? Number one, 10 billion capillaries are there, small ones, 10 billion. Now how big is it? 500 to 700 square meters, like equal to a football field, and it goes up and down there. So how much is it big? It's almost equal to 9 million kilometers, and it is said that it is almost 1.5 the earth time is your microcirculation inside your body. Don't you think it's such an amazing thing? We have it in our body, which is 9 million kilometers. This is, we are talking about the microcirculation, and we all human beings have this. Now Are we all looking into it? No, we are not looking into it because nobody is talking about it, and nobody even thinks like gives an information on this particular subject, because as of now we are all macro oriented. We are still not getting into the micro oriented, especially when you are talking about the circulation. Now how does it look? Can you see the picture here? This is the nail bud circulation which you will be seeing under the microscope. This is how it looks. Now can you see on the left top hand, what you are seeing is a beautiful. Now how many blood vessels are there? Now just by seeing your blood vessels, we have to see minimum of 8 to 9 vessels in one screen. We are supposed to see that, number one. Number two, how good is your cellular? That means one cell going in and coming out, one cell going in and coming out. I will show you this one in my next video. You will be able to see how beautiful it is. Now by seeing the pattern of this particular blood vessel itself, we can say whether you are having blood pressure, whether you are having uric acid, whether your blood flow is slow, whether your microcirculation is there or not, whether you are a diabetic, whether do you have any renal issues. All these information can be picked up from the microcirculation. It's quite a in-depth study what the Chinese have done, and it's a very detailed information we can actually pick up from the microcirculation. Now this is something very live I want to show you here. Okay, now what you're seeing is a live blood flow. It's a microcirculation, and what you're seeing is on the top there. Can you see something moving out from the second blood flow? You see something moving out. Now these are all the plaques inside your blood vessels, and when they take this particular capsule, it cleanses your blood vessels. This is what they do say, that when they take that particular product, the blood vessels get clean. Now this is an amazing video which this was recorded in China, and they have done the research, and they have done a wonderful research on this particular microcirculation. And I was amazed to see that the blood flow, the microcirculation is so beautifully seen, and you can see that now the blood flow is so beautifully clean after clearing the particular plaques inside the now how does it look? How does the microscope look? Is something like that. What you see here, you can see on the left side wherein we put your ring finger inside, and then from there we have a camera there. It will be focused, and what you see on the right side is on the screen is what your microcirculation. So it will take at least minimum of 15 to 20 minutes for the doctor to understand and pick up whatever the information from this. So there is a possibility from head to toe we can actually pick up a lot of information right from the brain to the foot, what is happening. But most of the time what we do is we just go to the main heart area, pick up the information exactly into the heart area what is happening. So if the circulation is good, then we go ahead with the guidelines as to whether the vessel wall is good, the blood flow, the thickening of your vessels, all these details we look into it, and then we guide you as to what you need to do. Now, so microcirculation plays such an important role in our whole blood circulation. Most of the time, if I take 100 people, invariably for 98 people the blood microcirculation is hampered. That means there is not much of but when there is a microcirculation problem, you don't have a macrocirculatory problem. But when you look at the time duration between 3 years to 5 years to 10 years time, from the microcirculation problem to the major vessel, it will take anywhere between 3 to 5 years to 10 years. Very slow process, but definitely. But once a major vessel gets a problem, definitely there will be a problem in the microcirculation well in advance. So what I would do is, in our epigenetics, we pick up all this information well in advance and then guide you as to improve the circulation. Now you would have heard situations very commonly, like people for diabetics, their foot blood circulation is compromised, and then finally you will see the fingers becoming black, and the doctors will say now this particular toe is already dead, so you need to amputate. Now after that what will happen? They will have to amputate the foot of it. Then after that a little bit above ankle, then below knee. This is what will happen when your microcirculation is hampered. Over a period of time your macrocirculation will also be hampered. So in that way, why is it important to check your microcirculation is you can pick up At least what I would say is, it's like, no doubt your highways are very good, but in reality, if the small roads, small paved roads are much more clearer, what will happen? You'll be able to travel along, like just like what people do is, when the major highways like our federal highway or Kessas is blocked, what they will do, they will took the parallel smaller roads into the kampung and then start going to the destination, something like that. When your microcirculation is good, your macrocirculation will be automatically good. So in that way, you need to really take care of your microcirculation. Of course, there are few steps wherein I would be guiding you as what kind of nutrients. When you do this, automatically your heart also is taken care. Now, how can you prevent the future vascular issues, especially the blocks? Once you see blocks here in the microcirculation, definitely you will be able to get a macro circulatory blocks. Now, when you are going to get a macro circulatory, that is when you get a chest pain, or that is when you get, see, sometimes you would have had a little bit of numbness in your hands or numbness in your foot. We won't be able to exactly tell you what exactly is your problem, because many times it will be circulatory problem, your blood flow is not okay. But the moment you improve your blood flow, automatically things starts becoming better. So just like microcirculation, which is a very important aspect for our cellular function, the same way when you are talking about the resonated water, it also plays a very important role in a cellular hydration, organ hydration, your tissue hydration. All this happens. So there is a correlation between whatever I am talking and the resonated terahertz water. Now, when you're looking at the cellular function, normally we would be dealing with the organs, but it's always better we go to the cellular function. But if you are smart enough, we can go up to the atom level. So that means if you are talking about the atom, every human being, every animal, every plant, they all start working from the atoms. So that means every cell which has got a proton, electron or neutron, it starts from that. Now, congregation of all this is what you and I are down here in a bigger picture. We are like a macrosome now, but when you compare this universe, we are a microsome. We are like a small dust in this universe. So when you are looking at cellular health, you need to look at from different angles. That means you need to look certain things from holistic approach. You need to just like if you are looking at a Mercedes-Benz car. Now you pay 1 million and buy the car. Now, do you think that you're going to just say, okay, the steering is beautiful, or the wheels are beautiful, or the seat is beautiful? You buy the car because as a whole, the whole car looks beautiful. The same way, our body also is something like that. You need to look at holistically. If you are suffering from diabetes, do not look only at diabetes and healing your diabetes. Don't do that. You need to look beyond that. Diabetes is a part of the metabolic problem which you are facing now. But don't you think you need to look after your nutrition, you need to look after your exercise schedule, you need to look after how positive are you in your life? All this plays a very important role. So cellular health plays a very important role in everybody's lifestyle. But all the while we have been only speaking about organs, your blood test, and you would have seen many times people having their blood test and then doctors telling, hey, everything is normal, nothing to worry. But after 3 months or 4 months, you see the person would have died of a major heart attack. Why even now in the COVID time, you would have seen a lot of people who looked healthy, who seemed healthy, but they couldn't pass through the COVID. Once it sets inside, they couldn't come out of it and they passed away. Now this is the reality, because inside at the cellular level there might be damages which would have been happening all the while, and only thing is we didn't actually look into it. Now, saying that, what you need to do, the first thing, because on this platform we are talking about the terahertz resonated water, what is an ideal drinking water? You need to look into, it must be a potable water with a pH of around 7.5 to 8, and TDS, that means the total dissolved solvents should be between 50 to 200, and the maximum they give is 500, but the ideal water with TDS should be between 50 to 200. Now, how do you do all this? You can buy this on a Lazada or on the Shopee, buy all these instruments. It is available, but it is not a very high-end product, so you still can, but just go with it, because it's at least an easy object for you to check your TDS, your ORP. Now the ORP is better, is always minus, minus 200 is ideal. But if you are looking at minus 400, it is really very good for people who have been having a lot of oxidation problem. That means who are working in the open sunlight for a very long time, who have a very stressful lifestyle, who has been eating food almost all the time outside in a restaurant. Now they need a little more higher oxygen reduction potential, so minus should be better. But if you're looking at for a normal person, anything minus 200 is good. But if it is anything plus, that means it is more acidic. Acidic is no good for us, so it should be alkaline. But you cannot be consuming everything alkaline as well, because many times if you consume too much of alkaline water also is a problem. But if you are consuming lot of fruits and vegetables which is naturally alkaline, is good for you. Do not compare yourself with a water, ionized water, which you pick it up from a machine wherein they ionize it and make it alkaline, and then you are drinking it for a very long time. Definitely it will have its own effects on the body, or it may not be effective also. But at the end of the day, like those days what we were doing, we were drinking just water directly picking up from the river or from the well or from the oasis, pick it up, or from a waterfall and drink it. Only because now the industries have increased, our pollution is so high, we need to filter water and then we need to drink. But here what happens is, there are a lot of people out there, probably what they are doing is, especially in Malaysia, the tap water comes inside your kitchen. What they do is, they just collect the water, boil the water and drink the water. They think that drinking boiled water is much better. I say no. The reason is, if you do not have a filtration system, definitely your water is not at all healthy to drink. Now we all earn money for what? For us, right? We need to earn money for ourselves first. When you are earning money for you and your family, the first investment what you need to do, you need to put a good water filtration system. One is inside, one is outside. You need to do that, because only when you drink a water which is free from bacteria, your viruses, the parasites, that is when at least you can become healthier. Now added to that clean water, if you can resonate the water, wherein we have the terahertz device right now, definitely it's much better, because it's much more easier. It's like telling latest cars where they use all synthetic oil, the engine is so smooth. When you sit inside the car, you don't even feel. You might be cruising at around 200 kilometers, you don't even feel. That's the advantage. So like that, when you are talking about terahertz water, definitely terahertz resonated water is much more smoother. So when you drink, definitely there is a benefit you will get in a long run. But always there is a exception, rule of thumb. There is no rule of thumb that everybody, like 100 people we give terahertz water and all the 100 will get the same benefit. No, it all depends on individuals, and we need to understand that each body, the way it responds will be different. So you have to know, you should know what is your body talking to you. Very important. Of course, some friend would have advised you and you are drinking the water and finally you don't find any benefits out of it. That means there is something you need to look into it. And of course you can always call us up and then find out what exactly is wrong. Why is that you are not able to see the benefit? Many times your nutrition may not be sufficient enough, that's why you are not able to feel the difference. Many times your vessels might be blocked, so maybe the water is not able to penetrate inside and clear up the blocks. So that time you need definitely the supportive vitamins, nutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, fat, all these are there. So when you're looking at all this situation, your ideal drinking water also should not contain heavy metals and toxic, especially, which is quite common outside, and chemicals and pesticides, which is a norm in today's life, because especially in the industry of food industry, they don't want the beetles, the worms, all to be there inside your food grains. So what they do, they will 100% use pesticide. Now when you're looking at pesticide, when you're drinking pesticide little by little, for example, you start drinking water from baby, you may see the difference when you're 50 years. You may start looking at the diseases when you're 50 years. But what we need to understand is, in today's life, it is difficult for us to make everything happen very clearly, because we are facing a very tight situation. Not only it's challenging to live on this planet Earth. Number one is your earning, number two is your food habits, number three your water. There are so many factors we need to look at. But what I would request every one of you is, at least in simple ways, what is ideal, make it possible for you to make your life a little more healthier, be a little more alert in what you're doing, and your body will be speaking to you all the time. Listen to your body. This is the most important message I would like to give, is listen to your body. Your body always speaks to you. Only thing is, you are not ready to listen to what the body is speaking. But for that, what you need to do, you should not be thinking of yesterday and you should not be thinking of tomorrow. Be in the present moment. Right now we are all here on this platform of Zoom, where I am discussing about the heart care, and I am discussing the medical areas. So what you need to do, take down a paper, write down the information what I am sharing, pick it up. If you have any doubts, you can always get back to me, and then I would love to assist you in whatever little ways I can, because this human life is the only life where we human beings can exchange all the goodness with each other. Saying that, now I don't need to repeat all this because you all know very well, but for such of those who are all new here, terahertz is in between the microwave and the infrared wave, and it is a low frequency wave, and it is supposed to be much safer and much easier to use. In fact, when you are looking at terahertz resonated water, there are a lot of good benefits we have been seeing. I think Eddie, Frankie, Jackie, and all those beautiful souls, you all would be able to get more testimonies where people are talking about their healing. Some, even yesterday there was one video where he was talking about his diabetes much better control. Now these are all wonderful thing. It's a happiest moment that in my journey, that I'm able to see people, without taking medication, they're able to heal themselves. This is something beautiful. And just if water can do this miracle, there are so many other things we all need to look into. Is we have to bless the water and say thank you to the water, and the device which our terahertz company has made the effort to bring this product to you and me in an easy manner, in a portable manner, and use a power bank to use it. This is something amazing. We need to appreciate and then move forward. Now this I love this because it is much more easier to carry it, and easy to resonate. Just 3 minutes, automatically it's off, and then the water is ready for you to drink. And I prefer using the jug, because I feel when I resonate the water in the jug, the efficacy is much better, and I do it 2 times, so the benefit I get is fantastic. And in my family, me, my wife, and my son, we 3 are here, and we are able to see a much better health. And for me, I'm quite healthy as of today. I would definitely give the credit to the water which I am drinking right now, is a terahertz water. Now there are some good qualities, good properties of this particular water, which you should understand that this is all done in the laboratory. The company has done the research. What they have done, they have found that it is antibacterial. That means it can kill the organisms when you are continuously drinking this water. Now you should understand that when you are drinking this water, when you are talking about antibacterial, when you are drinking the water, does it mean that it is going to clear up all your bacteria? No. Only the bad bacteria will be cleared. The good bacteria will be there, because the good bacteria need good water. So what happens, the good bacteria can drink the water and they can be more healthy, but the bad bacteria cannot survive. Now what there is another very important point you need to understand is, all the bacteria, viruses, fungus, all these vibrate at a very, very low frequency. Important information when you are talking about atoms, when we are talking about the proton, electron, and neutrons, and we are talking about energy, these organisms are working at a lower frequency. Now what is terahertz water? Terahertz water is a high frequency water. That means it has got a high energy. When it is a high energy, do you think the bacteria can survive? Do you think the virus can survive? No. Even yesterday there was one testimony. This particular person was sharing that there was like a person affected with corona, and then they were drinking the terahertz water, and then they could recover and recoup back much faster. Now how is that? Because the properties of the water is so good that The bacteria definitely cannot sustain in a high energy environment. Now, other than that, you look at the antiviral, antifungal, antioxidant, anti-radiation, and the low viscosity. This is the beauty of our resonated water is the minus 680. This is like, you're using a synthetic oil, for the latest engine. So your body is the latest Mercedes-Benz or your Porsche, and you're actually using your low viscosity water for this beautiful body. But there is something you need to understand, that what you have been drinking all the while, when you are trying to change over to this particular water, start with a lower dose, maybe 500 ml, then increase it to 1 liter, then 1.5 liter, then 2 liters. Then later on, according to your body weight, you need to drink that amount of water. Do not overload your body with too much of water. The reason is you will be overloading your heart, you will be overloading your kidneys, you will be overloading your lungs. When you overload without your knowledge, there are some damages which will be happening inside, and for you to recognize, it will take time. And by the time you recognize and you go to the hospital, you are already landing up in a problem. So do not overdo things. What is exactly necessary for you, please do it. No doubt there is a lot of good benefits out of this water, but you can't be drinking everything on one day and then trying to get the best of it. The other very important information is you need to sip the water and drink it slowly. Do not gulp the water one shot, half a liter, and push it inside into your system. Don't do that. When you drink it slowly and sip it slowly, what happens is every bit of it gets absorbed and every cell of it gets involved in absorption, and then you will get the best benefit out of drinking the sipped water. But how many of us have the time to even sip the water and drink? Most of us will be gulping the water one shot, half a liter. In a day we will drink 4 times and think that we have already done. You are actually pushing your system, especially your gut system, drinking so much of water, and your body has to absorb it, isn't it? So it's always sip it up. Then the other thing what most of us don't do, but we need to do, is take bath in 𝗓𝗏 resonated water. Why not? I think probably in the next coming future, our company will come out with a very small unit where you just fix it in your shower, and then you will get a 𝗓𝗏 resonated water for you to have your shower. It will come probably in the near future. That will be a great this one when you are drinking, especially people with kidney failure. When you take bath with the resonated water, it has much more benefits, because you are not supposed to drink too much of water. So in that way, in that restraint and the constraint of situation, definitely taking bath in resonated water is much better. But if you are not able to take a bath, no issues. At least spray the water on your body as frequently as possible, especially for people who have been told you cannot drink more than half a liter of water. When you have been told that, you better follow what your doctor is telling, because only with the guidance of the doctor you need to know how to increase the water, unless you want to take the risk of drinking the water, and then if something happens, you should know how to handle it. But always go slow on your drinking water, especially when you're starting with 𝗓𝗏 and you have a heart issue or a kidney issue. Go slow. Definitely your body will understand, and speak to the water. You tell the water, hey look, and to the body that, hey look, I'm going to drink this water. Now whatever you need to take the goodness of the water, please take it and use it to the best of your ability. Speak to your body. Your body will understand your language. You can speak in English, Chinese, Mandarin, whatever language you want, it will understand. Because many times your body understands your language, number one. Number two, your body will listen to what you speak to it. The best example I can give is when I want to go for fasting. What I do is I tell my body, look, I'm going to go for fasting for first 3 days. So what will happen is for that 3 days, I will not get hungry at all. I'll be just drinking water. I will not feel hungry. Then I will extend it for another 3 days. So 6 days. But the moment I decide, hey, I'm going to stop the fasting, the moment I decide, within next 1 hour, I will start feeling hungry. That means the body is responding. So the same way your body knows if you talk to it. So give all the positive vibration, positive affirmation, positive information to your body, so that it will listen to it and then start working on it. And do not claim diseases. Like for example, I have cancer. I have diabetes, I have blood pressure, I have heart issues, I have a heart attack. Do not go on telling this. Maybe if necessary with the doctor, you are going and meeting the doctor. Of course, when they ask you, see, what is your medical history, you can tell them. But do not go on telling to the whole population that you have a disease, because the more you utter the word, the more word stays back. The vibration, see, ultimately it's once again the vibration of that word stays back with you. Now, when the vibration is staying back with you, do you want the disease to be with you, or you want the disease to go away from you? If you want the disease to go away from you, what you need to do? You need to thank the disease. So if you are having cancer, what you need to say? Thank you so much for coming into my body. You came in and I understood that how important is my body, how important is my nutrition, how important is my exercise, how important is my positive attitude. And you have taught me how time is so important. All the while I was telling I didn't have time, but now you are telling me I need to take time, because the doctors will tell you, once you put on chemotherapy, radiotherapy, you cannot even go out, you cannot walk, you cannot do so many things. You are resting, isn't it? So that situation is because that particular situation you didn't give time. So every day before going to bed, look back and there in the whole day, what did you do? And pick up all the happy things you did. If anything not happy happened, no problem. Bless it with lot of abundance in that and say, thank you very much. I did learn a lesson from this particular situation. Thank you very much. And bless that particular situation or a particular person, and then move on. So this is how you need to create from a negativity, create a positivity. Now this particular water has got absorption is much faster. So what happens when the absorption is much faster? Definitely your BMR, we call it as a basal metabolic rate, also increases. The best example I can give once again is, before going for exercise, when you drink 𝗪𝗏 resonated water and then you go for an exercise, you will be probably able to do more exercise with this particular drinking this water. But a word of caution, just drinking water alone, you are doing regular exercise, is not going to be sufficient. You need to pump your body with appropriate proteins, appropriate nutrition. Very, very important. Especially if you're talking for the muscle, you need the valine, leucine and isoleucine. Very, very important. For men above 40 years, zinc plays a very, very important role, because zinc plays a cellular health. Zinc plays another important role in your diabetes, in your cellular sugar metabolism. But if you see, most of the men above 40 years will have zinc deficiencies. So you need to go either with the natural zinc supplements, or you need to go with the capsules which is available. Consume it so that you should be able to give more benefits, because zinc has got multiple benefits when you are consuming it. Now other than that, of course, the water has got a linear arrangement, and it supports the telomeres, the energy fields. There are a lot of good things when you are drinking this water. So when the goodness is there, our job is to be smart, pick it up and then move forward. Now this is another area where you see the water penetration inside your cells is much more easier with the 𝗪𝗏 resonated water, because of the linear nature. Now other than that, it is a very small molecule. The frequency of the resonated water is around 7.6 is a standard which the company has given us, and then we are able to get the best benefit out of it. Now what is the biggest benefit by drinking the 𝗪𝗏 resonated water? Easy absorption, better removal of taste. Now I was talking to you about the microcirculation. Is just visualize yourself, the microcirculation is so beautiful, everything going in and coming out. Now what will happen is, the same thing when the water goes in and comes out, the nutrient goes in and comes out, your cell becomes much more healthier. So it is not only the hydration plays important role in your metabolism of your body, your nutrition also plays a very, very important role. So this water, which is actually which is like a transporter, it's much more easier. So what is the benefit you will get? You will definitely get much more healthier cells, better cellular function, better control of diseases. Now this is where many people would have seen the benefit after drinking 𝗪𝗏 resonated water. The diabetes came down, blood pressure came down, migraine came down, people with heart diseases, they are able to climb the stairs, and kidney issues, people are much better now. Like, there are so many benefits you can get, but we cannot tell who will get what kind of benefit. We won't be able to tell. It is the individual person By drinking water, until today, nobody in the world has died by drinking water. Nobody. So in that way, because many times people will be asking, doctor, can we drink this water? Can we drink this water? Can you drink this water? I say everybody can drink this water, provided. Now, if you're a healthy individual, you didn't have any issues, drink water comfortably. You can start off with around 1000 ml per day and move on. But if you already have some existing diseases, just be a little cautious, be a little smart, start with lower dose, let your body get adjusted. Your body needs to get adjusted. It's simple, like you suddenly enter into a dark room, you will not be able to see anything. Now why is that? Because you need to get adapted. But give 5 minutes time to in that dark room, then you will be able to see everything. How is that? Your body will be able to adapt to itself through the vision, even in darkness. So in the same way, when you are drinking 𝗓𝗏 water, please give an opportunity for the body to adapt. Now many times the body might take few weeks to few months. Sometimes I do see people, maybe 1000 people, telling me, doctor, I've been drinking the water for so long, but I didn't see any benefit. But I would say there might have been some benefit, the person is not able to recognize it. The reason is, definitely water is an essential part of our life and we all need to drink water. Probably instead of drinking another normal water, you're drinking a resonated water, and you didn't have to see any change. It's still okay, but definitely there will be some good benefits inside happening to you. Now what is the advantage? We are talking about boiling of water. Now this is another beautiful information. If you are having an alkaline water which you prepared from an ionized system, okay, ionized water can split the water into alkaline water and acid water. Now alkaline, you are getting a pH of around 9.5. Now what happens? You cannot boil that water. The moment you boil the water, it loses its alkalinity and it loses its 9.5 pH. Automatically it is. But here what happens is the 𝗓𝗏 resonated water can be boiled. For example, if you have resonated a 7.5 pH water or a 8.8 pH water, the pH will be the same. I have tried resonating 9 pH water also. It doesn't change. Worst come worst, 1 or 2 points left or right it will go. But the pH is still the same. So that means it's always, when you're talking about resonating, it's better to resonate a water with 7.5 to 8 or maximum 8.5 pH is good enough for a normal drinking. Unless your body is fully acidic and then you're looking at much benefit, then even then what I would say is, if you're going to 𝗓𝗏 resonator water of around 9 to 9.5 pH, do not drink too much of water, especially the 9.5 pH resonating and drinking. Do not drink too much. You can drink maybe 500 ml to 1 liter, but the remaining water, please see to that it is around 7.5 to 8.5 pH resonated, because this 7.5 to 8.5 is good enough for you to drink, and the benefits are the same. Antibacterial, all those 12 properties what I was talking to you will be there with this water, and definitely the hydration, the cellular function, everything starts happening. And this water has been put under high pressure, X-ray, nothing changes, it still maintains the same. But the only good news is, we all need to understand that this water, if it can be kept in a glass container, definitely is much better. But if you're using a metal container, definitely what they feel is it might especially the energy part of it may be little hampered. That's the reason they say do not keep it in a metal containers, and especially for a very long time. But I would say, if you are going to resonate the water in a jug and then pour it in a copper or a steel glass and then you're going to drink it up, is still okay, is not at all a problem. But you want to store it, I prefer storing it in our silicone jug itself. But if at all, if you need an opportunity to store it, please put it in a glass container, because glass especially can retain the energy of the water, and you can give commands to the water well in advance. Give a command to the water, maybe in the form of please bringing lot of abundance, good health, peace and happiness to the water. You bless it, so send lot of love vibration. So when you do this, what happens is the water picks up all the molecules of the thoughts what you have given, and the water, when you drink it, definitely will be beneficial for every one of you in the family. What you need to avoid is, you need to avoid, of course, metal containers, exposing to sunlight, and as far as possible, if you can freshly prepare it and drink it is always better. But there is always a situation where we have tested by keeping it up to 8 to 9 months and the water doesn't change. That means the properties are still the same. But why do you want to wait for 8-9 months and then only drink? Is it unless you are looking at manufacturing and then probably selling it, then only you need to look for the expiry after 8 to 9 months. But at home, as far as possible, use a fresh water, prepare it every day or every other day and drink it. Now this is how it looks, and this is something very beautiful wherein you can see the live blood analysis, where you can do clumping of your RBCs on the left side. The moment you drink water, it all gets separated. Now why does it get separated is, once the hydration is there inside, this particular terahertz water has got a capacity of high energy. So each cell, when it got a high energy, they don't get attracted, they will get means going away, they will move away. So when they are moving away, that means each cell will be so energetic that it goes inside your cellular function, it will go inside, do its job, and then come back. So coming back to the final situation for you today, heart care, microcirculation plays a very, very important role. Just like your heart, your microcirculation plays a very, very important role, and we all need to look into. So if there is an option for you to check your microcirculation, please do check your microcirculation. There are a lot of people out there in KL and other places. Ask for the microcirculation test and then get it done. Then you know how exactly your circulation is, and depending on that, you can enhance the microcirculation and thereby give the benefit to your body by drinking our terahertz water. Also will have an advantage. Now saying that, I would definitely like to give a part 2 of this heart support in the next week, and definitely I'm going to talk about proper nutrition, your regular exercise, and whatever the nutrients you need for your heart to keep it very healthy, and what are the nutrients which affects whenever, especially the tablets when you consume, which can deplete your vitamins. So these are the things I will be sharing, and the other part of your viscosity and the vessel wall flexibility, all this I'll be sharing in the nutritional part. So until I come back once again for me to share the second part of heart. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to every one of you, and it's lovely to see 300 people down here, and then it's an amazing journey we are all going. So please have a very safe journey and take care of your health, and we are all here to share the goodness with you. And until I see you back, thank you very much and good night.